Hi, I'm Anson Strider and welcome to my Batman Eternal issue 8 review. Now let's just get straight into things. You guys know how this works by now. So this issue, first of all, just love the cover, and the art is pretty consistent all the way through. I will admit, I'll just give you a quick page just to show, like that's not, I don't know if I'm getting that in shot. Yeah, the art is consistent all the way through. There's only been a slight hiccup on previous issues with the art, with just maybe one issue that I wasn't a huge fan of the art in general, but this one just remains strong throughout. There's even a few nice little touches just all the way through, including one where I had to like really look because it was something in the background, but it's just like I picked something up and it was very interesting to me. So the art is great throughout. It's not the best that I've seen this entire run, but it's definitely up there. There's even a nice one of Batman at one point where I just thought he looks like so damn intimidating. Like you imagine Batman. I don't know if I can get that in shot. That's just how you imagine Batman looking. He's like damn intimidating, like dark and. You know, it's one of the things with Batman comics. You never get like huge amounts of colour like you would with maybe some of the other titles. But Batman can do colour. There's been artists who've used colour in Batman before, and you know, Batman can be fun. He doesn't have to be this dark, brooding guy all the time. You do see him lighten up on occasion, so he's just not always miserable and broody. But this is a very broody issue. Is really not having a good time in the Batman Eternal story arc. I have noticed as well that with Batman Eternal, they do seem to be running in 3-issue story arcs. This was said by Scott Snyder himself, who is heading the team. Seemingly heading the team. I don't think it's been outright said that he is heading it. It seems to be running in 3-issue story arcs. Like the first 3 were pretty much setting up the events and what's going on with the world. The next 3 were setting up what some of the other Batman family are doing, and then 7, 8, and presumably 9 are talking a bit more about what is actually going on with Gotham and how the crime is escalating and how it's affecting various people within Gotham, which I really did enjoy with this issue. Upon first reading it did seem to be very slow, like there wasn't much happening, but on a second and third reread, I actually did enjoy the issue a hell of a lot more. It was just like, I saw, because I read the entire series again just to catch myself up and see if I'd missed anything. But with reading it again, I was just like, I was noticing little things, and particularly in this issue, I was just like, I understood more what they were going for with the overall narrative. It's just like I really appreciated the issue more reading it as part of the whole than reading it just on its own when it came out on Wednesday gone. I was just about to say something, I forgot. Oh, one thing I did notice at the back, it doesn't say this outright, but at the very back page, I don't know if I can get that on screen because my camera's actually a little obscured, but at the back page there's just this advert here for Batman Eternal. Now, if it's appearing in Batman Eternal, why is it in there? I can only assume that the first 6 issues are going to be coming out in trade paperback pretty soon because of that advert in the back there. Also, it does reveal as well who the person behind the art were that was revealed. You can't really make it out, but it's the Joker's daughter. I kind of suspected that was who it would be. I really hope the Joker doesn't appear in this story arc. It's doing fine without him. It really doesn't need him. At least mentioned. I don't mind mentioned because Joker's daughter is in this. She's going to mention him, but it really doesn't need the Joker in this story arc. It's a great story arc without him, and we kind of had Death of the Family pretty recently, so we don't really need another Joker story just yet. So yeah, as reading it as part of the whole, I appreciated it a lot more than if I'd just picked up the issue on a Wednesday and read it as a single issue. You really need to see it in the overall narrative. Just if you go picking it up just as read it. Just say you're reading it weekly, as I am. You may pick it up and be a bit disappointed, but if you look at it a little bit deeper and just think of the overall narrative, the issue is a lot stronger than what I originally thought it to be. So onto the spoiler section. So if you don't want spoilers, do click away now, because I do go into detail on what is happening in the story. So first up, the divers are in the Gotham Harbour, and they're diving down to the now wrecked and at the bottom of the harbour Iceberg Casino. They plan to break into the vault and steal whatever Penguin's got in there. Despite last issue, we did see him like clearing out a lot of the money, but who knows? Maybe he's got like gold bars or something that they think can be salvaged in there. The Batman does stop them in the Bat Sub, which I did enjoy seeing, because it's one of those things with Batman, when you just do see him sometimes doing something crazy like that, just like appearing in the Bat Sub. It does seem a bit surreal to begin with, but it's always just like cool. I do enjoy it. In fact, it doesn't just stop those guys in the harbour. He stops all the crime on that night. He's waging full-out war against Falcone. He's just like beating up the thugs, stopping them from doing whatever it is they're doing, and really just like taking it to Falcone. He's just like, this isn't going unnoticed. When he does grab one of the goons, he does say like, I want you to take a message to Falcone for me, because Gotham is under my protection and this is going to end. I will find out what you're up to and I will end you. Well, not like kill, but you know what I mean, like just give him a good hard punching. So even though Batman spends the entire night fighting crime, this isn't exactly going rewarded, because when the PD are picking them up, this is shown in a scene with Bullock and Bard. They're just under orders to let them go, so they're back on the streets straight away. It seems that Batman knows this anyway, because he actually did tie up the guy who he wanted to deliver a message. The hired goon who delivers the message to Falcone, he gets taken out back for some discipline by Tiger Shark from the previous issue. But he just delivered the message to Falcone, and Falcone jumps on the phone, demands to speak to Forbes, and says like, look, it needs to happen. We need to teach Batman a lesson, because there's like he's a thorn in our side, and he needs to be taught that this is my town, not his. We cut to Stephanie Brown, who's still on the run. I would like to see a little bit more of Stephanie. This is 52 issues, I'm only at issue 8, but I would like to see her start to evolve and become a bit more like Spoiler. I really do like Spoiler as a character. She was a Robin at one point, for God's sake, so I would like to see a bit more of Stephanie Brown and her start to evolve into Spoiler, because it does seem from the Spoiler issue, Batman 28, that she does become Spoiler on her own. It's not something that she's provoked into doing. She like dons the cape and hood herself. It's not something that she's like Batman asks her to do, or any of the Bat family. It does seem to be something that she does herself, which, judging from the spoiler issue, it's something that I want to see start to happen, start to evolve. Not just one issue, just like, I can't trust anyone, I need to do this on my own. Maybe just spend 2 issues on it. I think 2 issues would be the perfect amount of time just to show her evolve into Spoiler, because she's doing the same old song and dance in this issue. She calls her mum up yet again, and her mum is working with the Clue Master, the guy who's out to get her. She calls her mum, but she's just like, Mum, I called you 45 minutes ago, just like, I want you to pick me up. But of course, her mum, working with her ex-husband, the Clue Master sends a hit squad to go and pick her up. Luckily for Stephanie Brown, a guy did pull her out the phone and just say, like, you've been hogging the phone all night, lady. I need to use the phone. And while this guy's on the phone, a car pulls up, sent by the hitmen, and gun him down. It's at this point that I actually had to look really closely at the picture, because I did notice that, I don't know if I'll be able to show this adequately on camera, but it's the next page, it won't turn. Yeah, I won't be able to show that adequately on camera. When I look closer, they're wearing blue shirts and they have the Gotham City Police Department badge on their arm. And if you see with, let's just find Bard, he has the same badge on the blue shirt on his arm. So it's just like a bit of detective work involved in a Batman comic, which I do like. I do like when it drops little hints for the reader. Just like if you really look at what you're doing and look at what's being done with the art and what's being shown, it's just like you can start to piece things together. So it does look like that the shadowy figure who was talking to the Clue Master back in issue 2, was it? I think it may have been issue 2, or is it? It's 2. The shadowy figure may have been Forbes, and I'm starting to think that maybe Forbes is the guy who was talking to Batman in issue 1 when it shows the end of the story arc where he's strapped to the bat signal. I think that is not Bard, Forbes. I think that's Forbes talking to him, Acting Commissioner Forbes. I don't think it's Clue Master. I don't think it's Falcone. I think that's going to be Forbes who's speaking to him on the rooftop, strapped to the bat signal that we saw in issue 1, which we're going to see at the end of this story arc. It's going to be pretty damn cool. Because I'm beginning to think that he is more of a player in this than what we're led to believe, which is just he's in Falcone's pocket. I think he's going to be more than that, or he is more than that. Who knows? The next day, Lieutenant Bard is investigating the crime scene where the man was shot down who pulled Stephanie Brown out of the police out of the phone box, because he was the one who got hit with all the bullets in the end, while Stephanie just walked away. It was close though, where she nearly got seen, but she died behind some bins or something. He's investigating the next day, and Vicky Vale turns up and starts asking Lieutenant Bard a whole bunch of questions. But then the relationship kind of turns flirty, and I think they're going to start becoming romantically involved. And I hope this isn't Vicky Vale just being the hard-bitten reporter and she's just going to be using him to try and get information. I would kind of like to see these two get together, because the exchange between them was kind of cute, to be honest. With Bard being all like, I've got a phone call, I need to take this, it's my boss. But then he turns over his shoulder and he's just like, tonight good for you for a date? It's just like, the exchange was cute, and it's just like, I want to see them get together now. I'm like, with the little exchange they had, it was only 2 pages, but with the little exchange they had, I'm actually rooting for this couple. I just hope it's not Vicky Vale who's going to be just like, I just want the information. So she's going to string him along. I think that might happen. I hope it doesn't, because I got to really like them just over the 2 pages they spent together. So Forbes sets his trap that night, lighting up the bat signal, thinking that Batman will turn up, and Batman does turn up. He's completely surrounded when he gets on the rooftop of the Gotham Police Department, and he's completely surrounded. There's like guys with riot shields, guys with machine guns, guys with batons, all armoured up in the riot gear, and of course Acting Commissioner Forbes amongst the middle of them. They do talk for a little bit here, and Batman does seem to be trying to reason with him. He's just like, look, me and Jim had an arrangement, I understand you're a different cop, but it's just like, we could work things out between us. And I did enjoy that they tried to talk to things. It weren't just Batman lands and he gets gunned down, and then Batman makes some clever escape. So they do exchange words. While the exchange is going on, Lieutenant Bard, who's also there, he actually says D-Unit now to help Batman out. He still believes in Batman. D Unit turns out to be the guys who throw the smoke grenades. This is going against Acting Commissioner Forbes' plan. So he's actually helping the Batman out here. So Batman gets surrounded with smoke and manages to take out a few guys while he's got the cover of the smoke. Then as he's taken one guy out, he turns to get the next nearest guy, and he notices it's Lieutenant Bard, and Lieutenant Bard has got his gun like pointed squarely at him. But because Batman sees him, he actually just he raises his gun, and it's just like, I'm on your side. It's just that he wanted him to see that he was doing that, so Batman would know he has an ally within the GCPD still, now that Jim Gordon is behind bars. Batman makes his escape, and Acting Commissioner Forbes is pissed. He's so pissed that he smashes the bat signal, exactly how we saw back in issue 1. With the events that happen at the end of the story arc. It's very confusing with that scene at the beginning. I think maybe as cool as that opening scene was to get you invested and want to read the issues, I think it may have served it better to be taken out, or maybe just skip that page if you're going to be reading this in trade paperback when it finally comes out. Forbes is pissed and smashes the bat signal. Back at the Batcave, Batman is talking with Alfred, and he says look, I think I've got more support in the GCPD than what I thought I did. I thought they were all against me, so he's obviously recognised that he does have at least one person supporting him, and he says it's obvious to me that the acting commissioner is out for himself, or maybe he's the problem, he's the reason why Falcone's thugs are being released. I think he's made the conclusion now that Falcone owns the GCPD. So it says, to understand Falcone, I need to know where he's been. To understand his plan, I need to know his past. So he has discovered that in the 2 years before Falcone's return, he was hiding out in Hong Kong with reasons unknown. So he does at this point head to Hong Kong, and it shows the Batmobile flying out over Hong Kong. It's at this point at the end of the issue that we do see a strange woman who I don't recognise because of the way she's shown in the issue. She's mostly covered, but let's just see, there she is. She's rappelling down a building, and she does say, what the bloody hell is he doing here? This is going to really complicate things. I don't know who this is. My initial reaction was maybe it's Talia al Ghul, maybe it's Lady Shiva. I have no idea. I mean, this is in Hong Kong, so it could be anyone. One person who we did see in Hong Kong back in issue 2 or 3 is Red Hood, so it looks like Red Hood's going to turn up for you Red Hood fans. I'm not among them. I do like Red Hood. It's just the amount of some fans are a bit like, Red Hood's amazing. It's just like, yeah, he's Red Hood. He shouldn't be above any of the other Robins or below any of the other Robins. He's an equal Robin in my opinion. He's just he's one of the Robins. I do love Red Hood, but sometimes the fans can be a bit much. That's my conclusion to the issue overall. With the page at the back, just advertising. It does seem to be advertising available weekly in print or digital. But if this comes out on trade paperback, I would recommend picking it up, because just at the end there, it seems weird, because advertising Batman Eternal when you're only on issue 8. Surely if you're reading issue 8, for me generally, issue 5 is the point of no return. If you're not invested by issue 5, you won't be coming back. It's just it seems weird that they're advertising it. So maybe we're going to see a Batman Eternal trade paperback sooner than we expected. So I would recommend picking it up on trade paperback, and of course your local comic book store can always order in past issues for you, and this series is actually selling pretty well. So yeah, they should have some copies lying about, and they can order in any that they don't have. So if you're thinking about picking it up, I'd suggest like now, really, if you're really thinking about getting Batman Eternal, now is your time to start picking it up, because like soon it's going to be starting to get too costly to just like go out and get all like 9-10 issues. It'll be too expensive by then. You're talking like let's see, you're talking maybe £30 British to get like up to issue 9. So yeah, well, it'd be a bit less, say about 27, £28, I think it'd round up to. For me, it's £27.50 exactly for 3 months worth of issues. That's up to issue 9. So it's just like, if you're thinking about it, now is the time to start thinking about it, because soon it's going to get too costly. So if you want to get in on Batman Eternal, do so now, or at least reserve some issues and just pick them up at your convenience. Regardless, I will still continue with my reviews of all 52 issues, and I'll be covering Grayson, Teen Titans and Red Hood and the Outlaws next month, or this month rather. I think they're out next week. But those will be coming as soon as I get the issues. So I've been N7 Strider, and I should go.